Welcome back to Horntie Studios. I'm here with you for another episode of 666 Seconds of Murder. That means each episode is less than 666 seconds or 11 minutes and 6 seconds. Well, as if the Idaho 4 case wasn't bizarre enough, got another one for you tonight. I'd love to talk to you about this. You guys are super interested in this case, and I know I am as well, so let's get to it. And I'm sure you've heard some of this if you've been following the case like I have. What is the deal with the private driver? We hadn't heard very much about this guy. I mean, now his name has been, released to the public. Eric Gower, I think is how you say it. And he may very well have been the last person to see Kaylee and Maddie alive because he is the one who drove them home from the grub truck. And so there's a lot of curiosity here in the true crime community, and rightfully so. But keep in mind, this video is just for entertainment purposes, my opinions, my speculation. Not accusing anyone of anything. It's just my opinion, just throwing out some ideas just to generate some conversation. So keep that in mind. So we've heard a lot about this 29-year-old rideshare driver, and it's come out again that his name is Eric Gower. He's a local who graduated from the University of Idaho in 2017. He currently works for them, as far as I know. He's got his PhD in education. So he's an educated guy. He claims that he dropped off Kaylee and Maddie just before 2 a.m. on the morning that the crimes happened. It's unclear, though, if he was paid or if he was doing this like as a favor, like a friend type thing, not really sure. But it is odd that he's a little bit older than them and he's married. So I'm just wondering, what's a married guy with a PhD in education doing out at 2 a.m. with 2 drunk college girls in his vehicle? Very, very strange. Definitely draws all kinds of questions, and rightfully so. And did they catch him on any of those doorbell videos? I mean, you would think they did. If they got that white Elantra, they sure should have got him as well. And what did they glean from that? And oddly, they waited a week, and I believe he was the one that actually contacted police first to make them aware that he was the driver. So wouldn't that be your primary suspect? The person that could have possibly been the last one to see 2 of the victims alive. Definitely suspicious. Now, it's unclear if this whole rideshare thing was like a side gig, but it does seem very odd that a PhD working for the university would be out at all hours of the night providing taxi rides to drunk college kids. It just seems very strange. And you have to wonder, what were his real intentions? Was he trying to, get with either of those 2, and that's why maybe things went south? Don't know. Now, oddly, Eric Gower provided the police with a Taco Bell receipt, I've been told, for some food that he purchased there at 4 a.m., So the obvious question is, well, then what were you doing between 2 and 4 a.m.? Gee, that's awfully a convenient time for you to be available. So what was he doing? Again, did they get him on doorbell cams circling around or possibly parking there and going inside? Don't know. Another thing that's interesting is that the order that Xana placed or someone placed with her phone is what I think happened for DoorDash order for Taco Bell. So kind of interesting that his meal was Taco Bell and the DoorDash order was also Taco Bell. So maybe he had some Taco Bell on his mind that night. I'm not really sure. Just another one of those little weird coincidences with this case, But it is suspicious, first of all, that he's even got the receipt. I mean, who keeps receipts for fast food purchases? I mean, most people wouldn't. So it does seem odd that he's got this receipt, but I'm not really sure if it does him any good. So it definitely makes you wonder. And, could there be some sort of tie-in with him and the DoorDash driver? Don't really know. Another thing about Eric is that he's a very active person. He's hiking. There's pictures of him on Facebook in the outdoors. So he certainly would have been in the physical shape to potentially have done that crime. Just an aside, because he's definitely a fit guy. Did he work with someone else? Was it maybe, Brian Kohberger? Certainly suspicious, and there is kind of a tie between those two, and I'm going to get to that. Did they check his DNA against that unknown male DNA they found in the house? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. Now, to muddy the waters even further, the Moscow PD cleared the driver very quickly, just like some of the others that we've talked about before. Really strange. And are we too jaded to suggest that one reason that he might have been quickly cleared is the fact that his wife works for the police department? I mean, seriously, you can't make this stuff up. His wife, Katie, is an administrator at the police department that's in charge of FOIA requests. That's Freedom of Information requests. So that's interesting. Could that be a reason he was cleared so quickly? It seems very suspicious to me. Now, the Moscow PD has caught a lot of flack from the true crime crowd about how this whole thing has been handled. And now this issue makes it even worse. It seems like there's no end to just the odd and strange things about this case. In addition to all of this, as if this wasn't weird enough, Brian Kohberger lived within like 1,500 feet of Eric and Katie Gower. So how strange is that? And he would tell the press that his wife was scared of Kohberger and that he was creepy when they ran into him. I mean, how weird is that? And could he have gotten Brian's DNA maybe from his doorknob if he knew where he lived and planted it on the sheath? I know it's a little far-fetched, but that touch DNA, I mean, it could have been transferred a million different ways. I'm just throwing that out there if they lived in close proximity to each other. And I would check out Nika's Neuro Nuggets. She's got a channel. It's interesting. I watch her videos pretty often. I'll link to that in the episode description. She's got a good one on this subject. That's kind of where I have heard some of the information I'm relaying to you. So definitely some suspicious things about this guy. Another thing is he took the week off after the crimes and claimed that he was so distraught after what happened that he couldn't work. But then you have to wonder, did you have wounds on your body that maybe you didn't want somebody to see? Certainly suspicious. Was he trying to hide out and not want people to see a black eye or a cut on his face or hands or something like that? Don't know. Now, a picture from Eric Gower's mom's house shows a white Dodge, which is the vehicle they believe that they picked up Maddie and Kaylee in, and a silver Elantra, which looks pretty similar to white in low lighting. So oddly similar to these other vehicles we've been talking about. This case just keeps getting weirder and weirder for me. I, definitely have my doubts about this, but, it just makes you wonder. So what do you guys think? I'd love to hear the comments from you. You guys really give some good ones. And I'm hoping that you got some good ones for me this time. All right. Well, thanks again for checking out 666 Seconds of Murder. We'll see you next time.